All right, everybody, welcome back to the Tomahawk. I'm Mike. This is Matt. We're going to give you the breakdown from Game 2, 3, and 4 from the last 3 games of the Hawks. There hasn't been a lot to talk about, unless you want to talk about, rebuilding year, but that's what we're going to do. Anyways, so do us a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit a like, get a conversation going in the comment section. I'm sure we'll get it lit. So, January 15th versus Tampa. Delia's in net. Is it Delia or Delia? Delia? That's what Delia. I thought. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Delia's in net. Yep. And he had a good breakaway save, but the pace in the game seemed much slower than it did comparative to the first game. Right. Yep. Delia had a few nice saves, but it seemed like he lost his net a lot. Like he didn't know where he was, half the time. And obviously these are things that, this is his first game, things that he can work on, but it didn't seem like he was sound fundamentally. This is just me looking in from the outside. Matthew Highmore, I thought, was very noticeable in Game 2. He was all over the place. I thought that he played with a lot of energy. And I thought that his compete level was really high. Now, I think that there's a difference between your compete level and giving effort. You can go out there all day and try hard, but I felt that he was competing really well. Shaw looked like to be nudging somebody every chance that he got. I'm waiting for him to kind of get away from that stuff and play more. It seems like they want him to play more hockey and not typically like his banger role.
Like a pest.
Yeah. I think his pest days are over with. I think he's more talented than what than how he plays and gives himself credit for. I thought the puck handling looked terrible. The passing was bad. And I thought the PK was horrendous. And I think that they've got a lot of work to do in the PK. Historically, they've usually been pretty good on the PK and struggled on the power play. And it seems like the power play seems to be clicking.
It's flopping
over.
Yeah,
it's like one or the other. What do you got from the first game?
Yep. I got Delia playing one good period. The first one, I was like, all right, maybe they're okay now. And then that next period, I got him with that bad goal. I think he tried to play the puck and he messed up. And I think once that happened, Tampa just kind of put their foot on the gas and see you later, But I did notice Zadorov using that body finally. He was
absent.
He was hitting every guy.
The first game he was absent. I didn't even notice him.
Yeah, no, I noticed that he was just wearing Kruger's number.
I was like, Kruger.
And that's it.
And he's slower.
Yeah. But I will give exactly. And he's got a man bun. But I did notice the goalie on Panthers. I think his name was Drager or something. Drager. Mm-hmm. Man, he was solid. He was playing great. And I think Bob was out with, they don't say, but they were saying it could have been COVID symptoms.
Oh, really?
But I thought, man, he played pretty good, and they got a solid backup.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I think the first goal was scored, I want to say, was scored by, was it a power play goal, too? I think it was the Cat.
Yeah.
And him and Kane look great together. Even the next 2 games, they've been having some chemistry, but today they ended up breaking them up, which I didn't understand.
Well, we can get into that. We can get into that.
Yeah. But Tampa's just a really good team.
Well, they're the world champions.
They're just not in the same league as the Hawks right now, obviously. But Murphy scored a nice goal off the faceoff. I think that was an even strength goal, I want to say. And I'm trying to see what else. I still don't know what the Hawks are yet. They don't have an identity. What kind of team are you? Yeah. Are you a run and gun team? Are you a chip and chase? wear them down and take advantage of their mistakes like Nashville does. They're just so boring to watch.
They're like the New Jersey Devils
they're
from the
effective
2000s.
in the 90s. Yeah, in the late 90s. Yes, exactly. But I think that Andrew Shaw, the first 3 games, has been the best player in my opinion. He's skating hard. He's drawing penalties. He's winning key faceoffs, and he's using that body. I know that the pest stuff is like, dude, don't get a penalty. Come on, we cannot go to the box
Right.
with our goaltending and our defense and inexperience. It's going to kill us. So that's what I got out of game 2 against Tampa.
You know, I think the best player on the ice has been Kane. I think it's safe to leave him out of the conversation right now because we already know who he is, what he is. You know, I think Shaw has been coming into today, which is January 19th, game 3 versus the Panthers. I think that he has settled in a little bit and he seems to be playing better than he has his past couple of games. Yes, today he was in front of the net. He was mixing it up, creating scoring chances, and he was playing the body, but not too much. I didn't see him, hitting guys in the back of the legs with his stick, giving unnecessary body checks, like he normally does. He was playing really well today.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how many penalty minutes Shaw has right now. I think he's only had 1 penalty.
Yeah.
Which I'm surprised.
I think he does have 1.
He's got 2 minutes. Yeah, he's got one penalty. So that's surprising.
I think.
I got my.
So, anyways, Shaw. Today's game, I thought was. I thought that it was a good game. They seemed to be really competitive. During the first period, they seemed to be a little lackluster, but second and third period, second and third period, the compete level definitely raised up in the second period. They definitely worked harder. They were competing more. They were playing better. Passing was better. I think the story of the night, to be honest with you, was Lankinen. Yeah, he did give up 5 goals, but he was hung out to dry on probably 3 of them.
2. Yeah. 3-2. Yeah. I figured that breakaway goal, I mean, there's some elite goalies that don't stop breakaway goals.
Leonard.
You can't expect him. Good thing we didn't go to a shootout. Yeah. But I thought he maybe had 1 bad one. But so look at Bobrovsky. He's making $10 million a year. He gave up a goal from the blue line and a no screen shot, and it went in. And that was that kid's first goal today. I'm drawing a blank.
Was it Kurashev?
The Russian kid.
Kurashev,
yeah. Is he Russian? He's Russian,
gotta be.
Right? Yeah, Ev. It's got an Ev and an off. So, yeah.
But, he's from Kyrgyzstan.
That's a very bad goal to give up. The Hawks could have easily they could have won that game, and that would have been the reason why they won. But you're gonna that's his first game, and I think if I'm Colleton, I'd put him right back in
too.
Against Detroit because they played better in front of him.
Yeah, 100%. He made some good saves. He kept them in it. Kept it competitive. I think that
overtime save, that 3-on-1 in overtime, that was a great save. And I was taking notes on him today. His post-to-post play, he's fast, and he plays back in his crease like Pat Foley even said. And I noticed that too. But when you play that deep in your net, you have to be fast, and he is fast.
I was actually going to mention that next. That's a good point.
I took notes on that, and Foley also said that he's not big into playing the puck, but that was my first note I took. I'm like, wow, this kid's trying to get into the play, and he was actually dumping some pucks out.
Well, he needed to.
First period at least. But I think he made a mistake when he played it, and he had his 2 defensemen behind him at the goal line, and he left it there. He didn't pass it. And after that, I noticed he's like, you know what? I'm staying in the crease. I'm not going to take any chances. But he played great. I enjoyed
especially
watching
for his first game in the NHL.
Yeah.
I thought that it was impressive. I loved his. He seemed to have good movement in the crease. When the
Very
puck moved
fast,
from one
smooth.
side, he moved
Yeah.
there, and then he would move back or what have you. Yeah, I thought that
Yeah.
he played well. I thought Brent.
Yeah, he stayed square to his shooters, and he was very fast when he was down. He was pushing off that pad, and he was moving quick. And he didn't seem like a big guy
Yeah.
to me. I think he's not. He doesn't look that.
He's like
big,
6'6", I thought.
It doesn't seem
Yeah.
that way. His head looks like it's barely clearing the crossbar.
Yeah.
But he does move fast. But you know why I think we're seeing that? Because he plays deeper in
Yeah.
the net, and he's looking smaller.
Yeah.
But I think I would go back with him because I think the whole team in front of him played well, and that's what we need right now. We need some wins. So
Yeah.
and he's given us the best chance to win.
In that first period, it looked like Brandon Hagel was playing with a pep in his step. He seemed to be driving a lot.
Oh, he was fast. Yeah, he was fast.
I thought that he looked pretty good. I think he needs a little confidence booster too.
Well, he was put in for Highmore, correct?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean those guys are fireballs. You got to get them.
I gotta say this, man. I don't see it with Strome. I don't see him as any kind of answer that they're looking for. I don't think he has the speed, and I don't think that he has the talent. And he might be a cousin of Colliton, because you got to check that guy to see if he's got a pulse, because he just doesn't look like he's into it.
No, you don't even notice him out there, and it seems like he's not even skating at like half of speed.
Yeah.
He's just kind of coasting and going through the motions, it seems like. But I didn't notice him at all, and I think Keith made some boneheaded plays today. Boqvist, oh my goodness, he got beat bad in the first period. Just walked right around him,
Yeah.
and he ended up getting hurt with that hit. I know he came back, but he's been having a rough 4 games. Maybe sometimes sitting a guy kind of gets his mind right, but I know the coach has some confidence in him, and then they're kind of pushing him to be, the next one. And
it's a lot of pressure.
But
Mitchell,
it is, and he's not that big.
Mitchell looks more ready than Boqvist does.
Mitchell has more confidence with the puck too when he's skating, and I think when Boqvist gets it, it's just like he knows when he's in trouble, he makes mistakes, he falls, and I'm like, oh no, he fell on that trying to get into the zone, and he fell, and they went back the other way, and I'm like, oh my goodness, come on, man.
Yeah, I thought Calvin DeHaan, when he gave up his man on the left-hand side, and that was the guy who broke in for that one-on-one goal, the breakaway goal. Mitchell tried to skate back. This was in the first period. Mitchell tried to skate back. I think it was the first goal of the game. Mitchell tried to skate back.
Yeah, the breakaway.
And he almost caught him, but he was just too fast. And then they scored on. And that was actually
good play by Barkov.
It was, and that wasn't a bad shot. It went right under his arm.
That's perfectly skilled,
it was.
Man. That he was skating right, and he just fired it left as he was making his push with his pad. And you open up, you can, as a goalie, you open up, and these guys are elite shooters, and they're going to find those holes. Yeah.
It kind of goes to show you just the league that we're playing in nowadays. It's not like, say 20 years ago, where you had a line of skilled guys, and then you had a second line of less skilled guys, and then you had a defensive line, and then you had a line of goons, and
good old days.
And nowadays, man, you have 4 solid lines of skilled players. Maybe you had one or two speedsters. You had 2 snipers. You had one guy who had a hell of a slap shot. And then you had some defensive studs. Nowadays, man, it's like every guy can skate. Everybody's fast. Every player in the league now is fast, and they can score. It seemed like back in the day, man, you had like Mike Modano and Sergei Fedorov, were just 2 examples, or Pavel Bray, guys who could skate at top speed and handle the puck. Nowadays, man, everybody can do that. And it's amazing to see.
Can you imagine Pavel Bure in this league with no two-line passing and less hitting?
That dude would be getting 75, 80 a year.
Amazing. Oh,
minimum.
Goodness.
Wait, hold no. He'd probably be getting 90 a year. He was getting 65 in the league he was playing in.
And he was in a rough league. Like these guys were out to kill him. You know, they were after these guys. Like even Denny Savard, he was a little guy doing that in that day where he was getting hammered. Can you imagine this league? I'm not saying it's soft, but it's not as physical.
I would say it's more skilled now. But it's I would say it's softer. It's definitely a softer league, but it's a more skilled league. You know, could you imagine Connor McDavid playing in those days?
At his, I mean, he's obviously an athlete and he's in good shape, but he's very thin. You know, he's tall and what's the word, like tall and lengthy? Or
he's wiry,
slim,
wiry.
Yeah, he's wiry.
Yeah, but could anybody catch him?
Can you imagine him skating through Chris Chelios and like a Steve
Could you
Smith?
imagine Chris Chelios being fast enough to stop him?
Well, I think Chelios would play the body on him once and give him a hack, and Connor McDavid would want nothing to do with that.
give him a good cross check or a good hack behind the legs.
Same with Kaner. I think Kane would not be as effective in that league either because he's a good skater, but his speed is not, you know, anything special.
He's got decent speed,
but
I'd probably give him like a 90 in NHL terms in speed. I'd give McDavid like a 98.
I give McDavid like a 200. But I think McDavid wouldn't be the player he is in that era at all. I think Peter Forsberg, I know you're not a fan of him. I like Peter Forsberg, but they went after him a lot, and he got hurt. He missed a lot.
He's a big guy.
And he was getting
Paul
hurt.
Kariya was successful, though.
But Paul Kariya, that Scott Stevens hit.
McDavid doesn't skate with his head down. I think everybody learned after that day, don't skate with their head down.
McDavid doesn't have to worry about Scott Stevens on the blue line just sharking this guy.
Oh, man.
That's terrifying.
But anyways, the league that we're playing in today is by far, you know, more skilled. You have guys on the fourth line that are very skilled, and it's a tougher job to cover guys these days. So I think the power play looks better. Kubalik needs more ice time.
And he needs to shoot. That guy has
He hasn't been playing. I think he had 13 minutes in the first game, 15 minutes of ice time in the second game. I didn't see the stats today on his ice time, but he needs more ice time. And I
agree with that.
And you know what? They need to figure out what to do with the top line, because Strome is not the answer for that. They need
13 minutes.
13 minutes tonight. That's it.
And 2 goals he scored, and he only got 13 minutes.
He should be playing 18 minutes a game.
Strome got 17.
Holy smoke!
And he only got 1 shot on goal.
Yeah. I don't know like what the deal is going. I understand you need to let guys get chemistry. But Strome is not the answer. And this isn't just me looking at 3 games of data. I'm looking at his career. He came in, he was a bust in Phoenix. He had a good year playing with DeBrincat. And since that year, last year, he didn't have a good year. This year, it's more of the same. He had a lucky goal in the first game.
We gave up a good player for him, too. Nick Schmaltz, or Nick... Yeah, it was...
Did we give up... I thought we gave up...
Nick Schmaltz.
For... really?
Yeah, and he was rocking and rolling with Kane. They had some good chemistry together.
He tore his ACL that year later.
When he went to Phoenix? Yeah.
I thought we gave up...
so who knows what...
I thought we gave up... what's his name? Played on the... Vinny Hinostroza. I thought we gave him up.
No, I think he was just a minor deal, but I can actually find out right now.
Check out Schmaltz's stats.
let's see here.
Anyways, I'll move on to the second period. I thought turnovers were costly. Kubalik, Strome, Jabrinka pairing actually looked pretty good, but I don't think that's reason enough to keep Strome on that even first or second line. It seems like they had more urgency in the second period, more compete. Our guys were getting hit left and right, and I think getting those hits might have woken them up a little bit. And they had way more offensive chances than they had in the first period because they were pushing. What do you think about that second period?
Second period, yes. They well, as soon as Kubalik scored, I think that's kind of opened him up, and he was playing like on a mission. I noticed from when he scored, he wanted the puck, he was shooting. I think Kane had I want to say he had like a kind of somewhat of a breakaway. They called it a penalty shot, which I wish they didn't because the power play's been clicking. And I think DeBrincat and Kane are money together on the power play. And I knew Kane wasn't going to score just because of that angle he took. He went wide. And when Kane's in the middle, that's scary for a goalie because you don't know, obviously you don't know if he's going blocker or glove. But I think when he went wide, Bobrovsky knew he's like right away he's going to just fire it. And he's got no other options. And he was going slow, which I didn't like either. I like the speed, dance, puck handle. And like I think he scored that amazing goal against Pittsburgh a couple of years ago where he just undressed the guy. It could have been Detroit, though. I forget.
Are you talking about there was one?
No, it was Minnesota.
Yeah, it was Minnesota, and he completely turned him inside out. He turned everybody inside out. I was on the I was on my couch and I was like sitting upside down when he was done with that.
Oh man, he did it to Howard a lot too.
Oh,
Jimmy
really?
Howard, and poor Jimmy Howard's just going right out of the camera, and just Kane just fires it into an open net.
And you just see the net go.
Yeah, and you see like one Hawk fan that's there, standing up. Oh my God, But I think a good thing about that second period was the Hawks scored a goal in the last minute. I know a lot of NHL coaches and even coaches I had would say, hey, we get a goal at the first minute of the game, we're going to dictate everything in this game. And if we give up a goal in the last minute of a period, we're going to be thinking about that going into the locker room. So, and I think that really got to Florida because the Hawks outplayed them. I mean, we outshot them. I think it was like 30-25 or something, but they were playing good. As soon as they got that goal, I noticed everything kind of shift a little bit in favor of the Hawks. But as for the third period, I want to say we only got one goal, right? That kid, his first goal,
Khrushchev?
Is that? Yeah. And I knew it's going to be hard to hold that lead, and I want to say the Hawks took a stupid penalty, and it might have been Strome.
It was Ryan Carpenter.
Remember. Okay, Carpenter. Okay,
he's usually pretty solid.
That part, I like him for $1 million a year. He might bring some good trade value in, as well as Shaw if they're going to get rid of him. I hope they don't, but if I'm a team like Toronto or Vegas trying to get over that hump, a guy like Shaw and these role players like Carpenter and guys, even Murphy. I mean, I just don't I don't see why this guy is so hyped.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're gonna rebuild, we gotta start moving stuff to get some picks. Yeah. In my opinion, because if we're 0-3-1, I don't see us climbing back from this. I know it's early, but just this division, it's virtually almost impossible to get into the playoffs. I mean, it's really not good for the Blackhawks in a rebuilding
Actually,
team.
In a way, it kind of is good for the Blackhawks because it might help with their draft status.
I was just going to mention, I was talking to this subject with my friend today. So if there's no leagues playing right now, how is there any good scouting going on?
I don't know.
About a draft pick, So I know we have some UCHL like leagues and stuff, and obviously you have Europe and college. But like, say we did get the first pick, this could be a huge bust pick because there's really not many, like, you know how every year there's a rookie they're always talking about, like, wow, this kid he's going to be number 1 or number 2.
Yeah, they said that about Strome.
There's nothing. Yeah. Well, there is nothing like that this year because of the whole COVID crap. But I hope the Hawks, I don't want them to tank, the phrase tanking, but if you're rebuilding, you almost have to. We need talent coming in, young talent. Like, we need a guy that can jump from his league to the NHL, like Kane did. And McDavid. I'm not saying there's a McDavid out there. I think Taves actually stayed a year in North Dakota.
Yeah, he stayed 1 year, then him and Kane came in together.
But he could have played, no doubt about it. He could have played that year because the Hawks were just so bad. But I think they made the right decision with sending Kane, or not sending him back, but Taves wanted to play in North Dakota. And Kane was with the Knights, and I remember he made the jump, and that was an awesome rookie year. I remember that.
He was just on fire,
Taves
man.
Goal against Colorado.
Man. How can you forget?
I thought that was awesome. They're like the away team TV broadcasting, and they're like hyping the Hawks, like, oh my God, that is the talent that brings a franchise back from dead. And I was like, that's just freaking cool. Because you don't see too many.
Fed him that one.
Yeah, he gave him a nice pass, and then Kaner ended up scoring two later in that game. That was his first. That wasn't Taves' first goal, but it was Kane's first goal. I think Taves scored on his first shot.
Yeah, Taves.
I want to say in game 2.
I think Taves was what was he?
Nabokov against the Sharks. I'm pretty sure it was his first.
He was like
shot.
coming around, or he was coming up, and Kane just got it to him right on his stick and stride, and he just came up right up the that was right up the right wing, and then he dangled 2 guys. Yeah. No, I'm sorry, dangled 3 guys.
Did you?
Yeah.
Taves?
Yeah, he came up fast too.
Really good guys, really good defensemen. I think at the time it was like Scott Hannon. Remember him? He was a mean stay-at-home
I thought
defenseman.
you were going to say Curtis Lashishin for a second.
No. That was I think that was the year Joe Sakic was still on. I think he finished maybe a couple years after that, but he was still captain of the Avalanche, so that was still cool to see. And Jose Theodore was the goalie that they beat, which he disappeared.
Yeah, he did. He had one good year.
He wasn't a bad goalie, though. Yeah, he wasn't bad.
He had a good year in Montreal.
But do you remember Kane and Taves' line mate? Their first line mate?
Was that
together?
Martin Lapointe? No.
No. But he was on that team.
I don't.
They called him the real captain. Lapointe. I remember they signed Adrian Aucoin.
Wow.
And he was the captain, and the team was kind of divided. They liked Marty Lapointe. And I liked him too. He was a good player.
Yeah, he was.
And
he was a solid guy.
Detroit. Yeah, but Taves credits him a lot with his leadership. But it was actually Ruutu. Ruutu was on their line, and I remember Ruutu was a high pick with the Hawks. And I followed him coming up. I'm like, I love this guy. He's like old school. He hits. He scored. He kind of reminded me of a Roenick, But he couldn't stay healthy. He couldn't. And I think they ended up shipping him off to, Carolina for Andrew Ladd. Yeah, right. We got Andrew
they sent
Ladd
him to Carolina. Yeah. I thought of Ruutu. I thought him and Havlat were drinking the same water.
Oh, geez, yeah, Ruutu. Yeah, they get hurt drinking it. Yeah. Well, that trade by Dale Talon to get a young Stanley Cup champion, that helped us a lot.
Yeah, it did.
Andrew Ladd, and I wish we could have kept him.
He was another character guy. He's had a lot of injury issues since he went to the Islanders, though.
New York. Yeah. I'm glad he came back that year. Remember Winnipeg said they weren't going to bring. It was good to get him back that year, and I like seeing him again. It's kind of like the bringing the band back together. They did it with Versteeg twice, right? And
Sharp. I called that Sharp one.
Sharp and Oduya. They lost Oduya, and then they got Oduya back.
And everybody sucked when they came back.
Yeah, but hey, we won. We won with Oduya twice, I want to say.
No,
right?
just one time.
Or was it once? Okay, because him and Hammer.
Oh
That was
man,
a good
yeah, they were
pairing. I
great.
enjoyed watching this.
Yeah, they were really good.
Keith Steves, Hammer, Oduya, and then we had Roosevelt with whoever was not in Q's
Yeah,
doghouse.
pretty much.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was Letty.
You know who I
Letty
regret them?
had a permanent spot there.
Just gonna say that I wish we kept
Yeah.
Nick Leddy because Q hates young defensemen. I feel like he prefers an old veteran guy like Roosevelt. And
He
like,
loved
oh my
Roosevelt.
goodness, come on, dude.
He loved
I mean, he
Roosevelt.
wasn't
He was a good player, but
like Sopel. He liked Sopel
he loved him
and stuff. But Leddy would have been a great player if you got to give the guy games. I mean, John Tortorella always says you don't really know what a defenseman how he's going to be until he's like at least like 200 to 300 games in. And I think like we talked about last podcast, I'm a huge fan of him, and I wish we had a coach like him who puts up with no bull crap, calls you out on your crap, and just fights for you. It's the guy I would love to have.
Broke the camel's back for Leddy was the 2014 Game 7 Western Conference Finals against Los Angeles when they scored the game-winning goal in overtime. The puck
was at the tip.
It tipped off of Leddy, and then it knuckled
Van Riemsdyk, didn't it?
No, I thought it was. I'm pretty positive it was Leddy. It tipped off of him, and then it. By the time it got to Crawford, it went right in between his arm and his body, and it went in.
We could have had 4 cups. With this team. Yeah, easily.
If they would have won that game,
the Hawks were going to lose.
They even said it. They even said it. They're like, whoever wins this series, which is the series of series, is going to win the Stanley Cup. There's no.
For sure.
I
totally agree.
And New York didn't barely even put up a fight.
No, they didn't really have many guys. They had Henrik, which he's great goalie, but like, what can you do when you don't match up against LA like New York's offense did? They had Carter, Kopitar, and those guys were pretty much in their primes at that time.
Yeah.
And
Mike Richards,
3
he was
solid
playing.
centers.
He was playing really well too, and Dustin Brown was playing well. He was just laying the body on dudes and scoring goals when you least expected it.
I feel like they don't appreciate him that much.
I don't think so either.
Like they were trying to get rid of him a lot, and like they don't make guys like him anymore. Like that just kill guys, and he's got some offense skill.
He's at the end of his career though.
He's at the end, for sure. He started a lot earlier. That Kings rebuild, he was like at the beginning.
He was.
It. I remember living at home still. My mom bought me center ice for my birthday, and I would go out with a couple buddies, and I'd come home, and the only thing on would be the Kings, and I'd watch them. And I'm like, look at this little guy, Dustin Brown's killing guys. And then they ended up getting Kopitar
and Doughty. They drafted Doughty.
Skill,
Doughty was Doughty at the time.
He's still
good, man.
I take.
I think that there was a time where Doughty was just. He seemed to have been just a cut above everybody else. He had just his awareness was really good, and his decision making was really good. Not to mention his puck handling ability and his skating ability as well. I would probably say his skating ability was really good. Kind of I want to say reminiscent of we just played him, Victor Hedman. You ever see Victor Hedman skate? Yeah. For such a big guy, man, he can. The way he's so graceful, the way he skates. Normally, big dudes
he can hip check.
Normally big dudes they don't skate gracefully, but Victor Hedman he can
skate gracefully with the puck, carrying it in. Not too many guys can do that. And do you know? I listen to The Point a lot on NHL Sirius. Boomer is the host. He said something that I've been waiting to hear from people for like 5 years. He goes, "What is up with Erik Karlsson? He cannot play defense. No one ever calls it out." And this guy called it out today. And I'm like, it's about freaking time. I'm like, I can't believe the Sharks would get rid of Joe Pavelski and their captain, who was like a heart.
They drafted him.
Kind of like
didn't they draft him? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like their Taves at the Sharks Taves for Erik Karlsson.
That's crazy.
I mean, he could play forward probably, yeah, but he cannot play D. And look, since they got him, the Sharks are like not a threat
At all.
anymore. And when they were like, Brett Burns was scary when they got him. This guy was freaking scoring 20 goals and he could play D. And then they get Erik Karlsson. I'm like, Doug Wilson, dude, what the frick are you doing, man?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like some of these defensemen, like I don't get, like kind of like Keith lately. I think at this point in his career, he needs to play defense, especially for these younger guys. He's like today. He thinks offense too much.
Yeah.
But that's what he's been programmed to do for the last decade, you know. But with these young guys, you can't be doing that. Like Karlsson, in Ottawa, he would get like 90 points, 100 points or whatever. But did you see his plus minus? It was like a minus 20. It's like,
because he sucked. I never saw what the big deal was about him. Aren't they giving him like $10 million or something like that?
It might be more than that. And they had to get rid of their freaking heart and soul player. And I think, and I'm so glad that he made the final, Pavelski with Dallas, just to be like, you know what, I could still go. And he looked great in the playoffs. He's a playoff guy. He's a gamer. And I just can't believe Doug Wilson
let him go.
You know, and for a guy like that, you can't replace a center like him with a defenseman.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what they were trying to do with that. Maybe they're trying to get fans and stuff, but I just don't get it with these defensemen like that. They don't play defense.
I think that's what happened with Subban too. Subban I thought that he was okay defensively, but he was definitely offensive-minded defenseman.
My thing with Subban is I think he's an awesome guy, just an all-around good
he
dude.
is.
When he was traded to Nashville, I think that just killed his spirit, and I think his heart was in Montreal.
He played pretty well for Nashville. He won a Norris there, didn't he?
Yeah. I think that he made the final that year too. I want to say they made the final against Pittsburgh, and I think he was on that team, the Nashville team, not Pittsburgh. But I think his heart was just crushed when he was traded, and people were saying like, well, we'll see how that trade plays out. I know the Canadians like Shea Weber. I mean, he's getting up there. He used to kill the Hawks with that freaking just laser beam of a shot. But I'm a big fan of PK, but I know, don't forget, he's playing on a team now that's kind of like the Hawks. But I think they're asking him to take on a bigger role with this team, like a leadership role and more of a defensive, style like the Hawks need to do.
Well, he's a great skater.
Like I said, I think he is, and he could play. But I can't believe that team got rid of him. I mean, that's just
talk about two
some trades you don't get.
Completely different players between Shea Weber and PK Subban.
I think he was traded because of his personality, like off the ice. He's kind of like not a distraction, but people are drawn to him. And it's, like the Canadian media is probably, PK, what are you wearing today? What kind of hat you got on today? And they ask stupid questions. Even in America, they'll ask a stupid question about something dumb. But I think Bergevin, who was a Hawk, he was with the player development role, and he ended up taking the GM role. I think he wanted a more like laid back, like we don't want attention. We want to focus on hockey. And I think that's why he was traded, because I think Weber, he's got to be a couple years older than PK. I'm guessing. That's kind of, a trade really wouldn't make sense. I mean, no team won yet, so we'll see. But they are picking Montreal to be a dark horse in that division, to come out of that division. I could see it, but I think I'm still going with Toronto though this year. I think it's their year.
You think
so? Yeah, I think it's their. Well, if they were in their normal division, who knows? But this Canadian division, I think they're the best Canadian team. I think they should come out with first place. They're definitely going to make the playoffs, no doubt about it. But one or two, we'll see. I think people are saying Vancouver could sneak a little bit, but I think it's either going to be Montreal taking it or Toronto.
Okay. Cool, man. Well, you got anything else for today?
Just next series against Detroit. I think I would go right back. What's his name?
Lankinen? Kevin Lankinen?
Lankinen. Throw him back in there. He played great. He got us a point, which we're on the board. What do we got to lose at this point? Put him in there and get him some games. You get some experience.
What's your prediction? Do you think we split it? Do you think they win? What?
I picked the Hawks to finish last in this division, and it was between them and Detroit. But I've been watching
how the
Detroit
mighty have fallen.
I know. Larkin looks good. He's got a good little line mate, Bertuzzi, after his uncle. Hopefully he doesn't kill a guy. And I think Mantha is on his line. But Steve Yzerman he's doing it right. He's rebuilding. He's being patient. But I heard on the radio today, they're kind of they're Detroit guys. So they were saying, wow, these guys could be like Bergeron and Pasternak and Marchand, because you got Bertuzzi, who's kind of like a pesty guy. He could score. And you got Larkin, who's like a good two-way guy like Bergeron, and then Mantha, who's your sniper like Pasternak. And I'm like, wow, you guys are getting bold over there, huh? These guys got a lot to prove before they get at that level.
Yeah, no kidding.
But it's good. I mean, they're excited. I'm nothing against Detroit at all. I mean, you got to respect a team that's made the playoffs for like 20 straight years. Why was it 20 or 19?
I think it was 20 or 21.
They won some cups and they still managed to get in. That's so impressive.
Yeah. What's Bertuzzi? He's actually a pretty skilled player.
Yeah, he is. And Larkin's skilled, and I'm glad they gave him the captain. I thought he should have got it last year.
Thought so too.
Good for a team to get a leader, to get behind and stuff. I hate the 3A crap.
I think it's different if you trade away your captain. If your captain's not there, I think the 3A thing is fine.
Yeah, like with Taves, he's out. Obviously, he's been our captain so long, and he still plays. But the whole we don't know who we're gonna pick yet. Come on, they do.
It's not that big of a deal.
He's not ready. Put a letter on the guy, and you're gonna if anything, you're gonna boost him. It's gonna. Oh yeah, it's an honor. And he's gonna go out there and play harder. So, but I think. Hopefully they split, but I think Detroit will probably win the next game. I think they're playing Columbus tonight. I could check, but I know they played yesterday and they won. Let's see. Detroit. No, I can't see it, so I don't know yet. But I think hopefully they split, but if they get swept, it wouldn't be surprising at this point.
I think that there's a strong possibility they might take both of them.
Well, that's a good prediction.
I'm going to go with that. They're going to take both games.
Who do you got in net?
Lankinen. I want to see him in net. If they want to give Delia and Subban a shot later, that's fine. But I'd like to see Lankinen in net, and I'd like to see if someone's going to get another shot. I'd like to see Subban get another shot. But he's already played about 60-some games already.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised he didn't play Game 3.
Yeah.
I thought they would have jumped back to him.
Yeah, me too.
Or they should just keep rotating. Until we find it like today. He kind of earned his spot as the next, as not a starter, but he should get the next game. He played hard and he got us a point, and we need it. I think it's still gonna be tough on these goalies. We're gonna need a steal. We're gonna need a Leonard performance
every night,
which is exactly. If one soft goal will just kill our team. And Subban gave up one. Delia gave up one a game. Do you think he gave up a softie tonight? I don't know if he did.
It's hard to judge.
Were some good shots.
I think it's hard to judge because it's his first game.
Yeah.
But I think on the first goal, he was unaware of where the puck was, and that could have been,
That breakaway?
or maybe it'd have been the second goal. Yeah, wait,
Second goal.
when it went in between his legs and they shot it in. That might have been the second goal.
I think the first one was the breakaway.
Okay, then it had to have been the second.
The second goal was a 2-0 power play I got.
Okay.
So it was probably that shot from around the point, I want to say.
There was one.
I can't really fault
There was
the
one
guy.
that went in between his legs, and he was trying to find it, and they just buried it back in the back of the net. I thought that one was a little soft because he lost the puck.
Yeah.
But that's really the only one I could pin on him. Unless you want.
Well, look at Boqvist.
Yeah. I mean,
he makes $10 million a year, and he gave up a goal from a nobody from the blue line, and almost cost his team a loss.
I mean, he almost
or a win.
He gets $10 million a year, and they almost lost tonight against one of the worst teams in the league.
Exactly.
So I mean, I think the Hawks.
They shouldn't be crazy.
I think the Hawks have a solid chance, man. They just need to keep the compete level up, maybe shore up their passing a bit, and take it from there and shore up the defense.
Yeah, we're gonna get some experience, but if anything, like when you're rebuilding, you want to finish strong and you want to compete, but in another sense, we need picks, we need young talent coming in, and we need to move some dead weight. And I think the Hawks, they're going to surprise a lot of people at the deadline, and I think they're going to move guys, and it's going to hurt a lot of us fans, but we need to stockpile on draft picks. And that's what good teams do when they're rebuilding. Like Detroit, Steve Yzerman, he retooled. He did it in Tampa. That Tampa team, that's all Steve 100%. Yzerman. The GM who got the keys to that ride. Oh my goodness. He I'm sure he had something to do with stuff, but Steve Yzerman built that from the ground up. And I'm hoping, I'm not a big Bowman fan. I don't know what he's doing, but maybe if it gets bad, they'll move Bowman. I mean, I just don't see it because they extended him, or he extended himself.
They made him vice president.
It's really, you look really stupid if that did happen. I mean, I think there was just a football coach, or no, was it a baseball coach? They made him a GM and they fired him a week later because of something off the
was
job,
that the Mets?
It
was their GM apparently in the past had sent reporters some nude pictures.
Ooh,
no kidding.
But it's just, how do you not know that before you're signing? Maybe people will come out and say stuff, but still, it just looks stupid, and you make your organization look stupid. Now I don't have to reset and find another guy.
Right.
But so I don't know. I don't think we're gonna win anything with Bowman again, but I'm grateful for our cups.
We'll see.
The one I credit him one.
Let's not.
I still believe that's Dale.
Let's not throw in the towel yet. I'd give him two, man. 2013 and 2015.
All right. I mean, I give him a little credit. I think he made some good trades. I think getting Frolik was a big trade. He brought in some veterans like Anton Vermette.
Yeah, man, that was huge.
Because Michael Hanzus, getting him back. Dale Talon got him originally. Then he lost.
Vermette didn't get his legs under him until the playoffs.
First goal. And he scored a really big goal. I think it was Tampa.
He played
the final,
huge.
Right? He scored that OT.
And defensively, he was huge.
I think Dale is an amazing trader, I used to say. But as far as his re-signing his players, he kind of overvalued them. And that's kind of what's got us in this mess too, I think. Bowman is an okay trader, but as a draft part of his job, I want to say we kept one player one first round pick that he's drafted, and it's Boqvist. we've gotten rid of
and Kirby Doc.
I think I want to say. Well, Kirby Doc, yeah. Well, that's so two. He's kept 2 first-round picks out of like 19.
Wow.
I want to say. Might have not 19. Well, maybe it's a little less, but he got rid of a lot of talent. Like Yoki Haru, he got rid of. He's gotten. Remember, Kyle Beach was hyped.
Yeah,
but that could have been Dale.
Yeah, it was Dale.
Yeah.
He was a huge bust.
Yeah, but he was supposed to play with Kane and Taves. I remember to be like the bodyguard.
He's
to
gonna
be that
want
guy.
to be Eric
yeah.
Lindros or something.
And then he ends up. I think he had some off ice issues with like fighting people and stuff.
Yeah, he had a lot of off ice issues.
Dale built this Florida team, I want to say too, and they're pretty good. But I think that I don't know what he's doing now, but I think he's just done with, being involved in management. I think he was a great TV play-by-play analyst guy.
He was.
I enjoyed him in Foley.
Yeah.
But they got their positives and negatives and stuff. But Bowman needs the thing that killed me with Bowman is Panarin. I know he's making a crap ton of money, but
yeah, he is.
This guy and Kane, we would not be rebuilding right now.
I think we would be toiling. We'd be toiling at the middle to lower ends of the spectrum. I think if we kept him and we paid him, because we wouldn't have any money to give anybody else, because the cap hasn't gone up. Well, yeah, but nobody's going to take that contract.
We'd have to move some assets. But I think with a player like that, you have to do anything you can to keep him, because he is top 5 in points. He's going to be top 5 in points for another couple of years. And him and Kane together, I mean, these guys were passing, not even looking.
Yeah.
Like opposite ends of the ice, just tape to tape passes. And that was probably my favorite line in this Hawk era.
Yeah. They played really well together.
It just drives me crazy that we got rid of a guy like Panarin.
I'm surprised
when I see him on New York and I see his wavy flow coming out of his helmet, he's dancing and scoring. I'm like, oh man, I love this guy. We should have kept him, He
was a good signing.
It's heartbreaking. It was just heartbreaking. I think that he might have taken a discount. I think if we would have re-signed him a lot of years earlier, like say after his 2-year contract, if we gave him like 4 or 5 years at like 6-7 million, we'd still have him, Now he's making 13, I want to say. That's a great agent right there. Hey, just sign a 2-year deal and let's rock and roll, and then you're going to get paid. And New York paid him. I think he's banking. Yeah. But he's awesome player to watch. I really enjoy watching him. So I think that team's going to win before the Blackhawks again. Let's just say that.
I don't know. Well, we'll see. I don't like to give I don't know. I don't really like the Rangers.
I don't either, but I think they're doing the right stuff too. I think they got 3 solid goalies that they let Lundqvist go. I mean, he's been one of the best goalies ever.
He's old.
They got some coverage.
He's old. He just had open heart surgery too.
So bad. I felt so bad for him. I was hoping. I'd like to see him get a cup. I don't think Washington's going to win this year, but I think that he can maybe make a run, and it would have been cool to see him hoist
maybe in
cup.
Management.
I think he's one of the deserving guy. Yeah. But the one thing I wanted to ask you never gave me any answers here. What are your predictions for each division? Who do you think's going to come on top?
Oh my God, dude! I'd have to look at it again. I don't know.
See, you're blowing me off. So
I'll let you know next time we get on.
Is it Chicago?
No. I know that's not going to happen. I know it's not going to happen, but I think Colorado's strong, man. I think Toronto's strong. Yeah. I think Toronto's strong, but I think they're a bunch of busters.
Who? Which team?
Toronto.
Oh, Toronto. Yeah, they do choke. Anderson chokes.
Yeah.
I think Anderson was solid against the Hawks that year, that Western Conference final. He actually scared me. This guy was good. And I'm so glad we came out of that series. It was game 7. But he's been choking. And Toronto's a hard city to play for, man. It's like playing for the Cubs. Like, there's so much pressure, and especially when you're like, they're like at 60 years, I want to say, right? With no cup.
Yeah, it's been a really long time.
That's gotta weigh on you, yeah.
Yeah, with a fan base like that, they're gonna show up, though. You know.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm sure they're itching to get back in there. And can you imagine if they did win? They can't even watch them.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's crazy.
I think maybe Pittsburgh out of the East, maybe Tampa out of the Central.
Yeah, I think Tampa. I got Tampa, Philly, Toronto, and Colorado leading the divisions. Okay. But I think the final could be. It's hard for me with the West. I think it's going to be Colorado versus Toronto, Game 7. I think Toronto is going to finally get it. I like Austin Matthews. I think he's going to show up. Him and Mitch Marner, they remind me of like Kane and Taves, kind of coming up together. And
except they're losers.
They're going to beat them. Well, except they haven't
done nothing yet.
We will see. We will see. They got Joe Thornton.
They got paid. They got paid.
They got Joe Thornton.
Taves and Kane, they showed up and they put out before they got paid.
That's true. That's true. I'll give you that.
All right, cool, man. This is a good one. We'll do another one of these after the next series. And
good call.
I don't have anything left for tonight. What about you?
No, I'm hoping we can build off this point, get overtime loss. And hopefully we can get one out of 2 against these pesky Red Wings.
Hopefully we come back with hopefully they have a total of 5 points next time we get on here.
Well, we will see. I'm hoping for let's get one first.
All right, cool. Well, this is what we got for you tonight, guys. Right. Give us a like and a subscribe down there. It won't hurt you. And follow us for the next one after the next series. This is Pre and Matt out.